So it's decided to. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. We are live for the first time. Common Theory. Unfortunately, we are over here on my channel instead of the Common Theory channel. But see, we got a little pod in the chat already. Nice to see you. Say hi, Gator.
What is up? What is up? How y'all doing?
Alrighty. So today we are working on. Oh, hey, Sniff. What's up? Yeah, I know who it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
The buzz is probably my air conditioner. I'll turn it off.
Always had that problem with the AC.
Every time, dude, it's right above my mic. It's so unfortunate. All right. So we're working on Gator's version of Rocco, which is an elf variant.
I would say our version at this point, but sure, why not? Why not?
Not yet.
We'll say mine.
I haven't touched this yet. This is yours at the moment.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what we can do. Let's change the view to make it a bit easier.
Well, this is a very, very rough draft. Very rough draft. So I have it in actual paper. In paper, I have a bunch of the cards are different than what you see here.
Perfect now. All right, good stuff. All right, let's see if I can get. There we go. Now you guys can actually see what we've got in the list at the moment. So, let's go ahead and take a quick little scroll through here. Let's sort it by mana value.
Yeah. The visual grid. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah. The mana value one was at the bottom.
Yeah. So, we've got Birchlore Rangers in here because we're playing elves.
Yeah.
Nice tech piece with Caustic Caterpillar, a good 1-drop piece of removal we can tutor. Elvish Sky Sweeper, huh? We're going this far down the rabbit hole for elves, huh?
So literally, I ended up playing a stream, right? And they were like, "It's not like cPDH." So I was like, "Let me build Rocco out of the cards I have on the counter." And that was one of the elves I had on the counter, and it was the perfect excuse to use it. So, like I said, it's different in cards than it is here. So, like, but yeah, like it's. I still think it's not horrible.
It's not the worst thing in the world. It does kill a Malcolm, and I guess if we absolutely have to, it's a way to get Rocco back into the command zone.
Yeah. I mean,
but only if we have a target. So it's not a guaranteed way to do that, unfortunately.
I mean, it's a 1/1 for one that's an elf, right? So, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I think we can probably do better, but we'll keep it in mind.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
I agree with playing all the mana dorks. They're elves.
There's one I'm missing that I forget it, but there is one missing.
I see Boreal, Mystic, Llanowar, Avacyn, Arbor Elf, and
it's the new Jaspara. It's the same as Jaspara.
You've got Jaspara Sentinel in here.
No, it's the same as Jaspara. So it's the one from Brothers War, but I don't own one in paper. Literally does the same thing as Jaspara, but it's from Brothers War. I don't know the name of it, sadly.
Let me search Jaspera.
Yeah,
there is not another Jaspera.
It taps an untapped creature
you mean
and
the
artifact.
same effect?
Yes. Yeah. And it's an
Yeah,
elf.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. We'll look through the elves, I guess, and try to find it. Um,
I
let's
think it starts
see.
with a B, maybe.
Kyrian Ranger. Um, yeah,
So-
Priest
Yeah,
of
I don't know.
Titania, value piece, I guess. Um, we'll have to see about that one. I don't know how often it's gonna be actual value,
Yeah,
but
being
we
an elf.
are
Yeah.
we are on 31 lands, so maybe it's not that bad. Um, Thraben Inspector seems meh. I guess it's
Um,
an infinite mana outlet if you can bounce it.
yeah, that's what the automaton can do. It's actually just good value with the automaton and Thraben. It's slow value, but it lets you get into like that super grindy game.
Haste is good. We like haste. Paratrooper seems a bit unnecessary, but maybe. Um, let's see. Skyfisher.
Two priest activations, that's a SWAT, right? Like it's not. I mean, it's all we got, bro. It's all we got. Cut me some slack.
um, Sakura Tri-Builder, huh?
Yeah.
Not your proudest moment. Um,
I mean, it's thins the deck. It's a rampant growth, right?
it's yeah, it's fine.
It's a rampant growth. That's what I got for you.
It's fine. I actually really like the Sky Shroud Elf.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the filter.
yeah,
So literally because of that creature is why I went elf tribal. As weird as that sounds.
yeah. I mean, it's not a bad creature.
Yeah.
Let's see. Standard Bear is. Oh man, I just never know. But since we have access to tutoring it, maybe it's okay. Um, I'm really not sure about these like Sylvan Ranger Farhaven Elf. Um, but maybe.
Uh, the elf that's missing in there with all the other elves, which I have actually here with the deck and paper, is Timberwatch. So that's the one elf I have missing that's supposed to be there that I just haven't updated the deck with yet. So
Timberwatch, the pump one.
yes, the pump one. So you could swing in with a couple of dudes and just like one shot
Hmm.
someone accidentally.
I see.
I mean, it's not the
uh,
worst idea.
I mean, I guess
I mean, it targets any creature.
it
And
does.
I've averaged 5 elves in play when I've play tested the deck thus far. So it's not the worst. And it lets you just smack in with Rocco, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. I'm not
He's
a
like,
fan, but
this deck is horrible. This is like, why am I even looking at this?
man, why are we trying to punch people when we have a creature tutor in the commands? It's just win the game. Why are we punching people?
I mean, we
Um,
have a lot of ways to win the game. I like more than one way to win the game. Punching people makes it
yeah,
look
that's
like you're
why we
punching
play
them.
like 6 combos.
I mean, so the original version of the deck had like, I was like 13 combos in it, some absurd amount. Like, literally some like insane amount of combos.
Kami of Industry. What are we getting with this? Like
Pilipala.
Pilipala? Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
It is literally there for Pilipala. That's it.
Ashnod's Altar.
Yeah, but like it accidentally could get Ashnod's Altar. That's what makes it worth it. But like its main goal is Pilly.
Why are we playing Ashnod's Altar?
It's a free sack
To
outlet for
sack
Rocco.
Rocco?
Yeah, and it gives you a shit ton of mana to like dump into Rocco to replay him.
I guess.
Like it's not bad.
It's
You could
not
also
the worst card, especially
you could also
for on
filter it with the
50
elf.
creatures.
Well, you could filter it with the elf, and it also gives you a sack outlet for standard bear, and it makes Aegis Automaton actually more like viable because it's 5 mana to use, which is a ton.
Land grant.
31 lands, baby. You gotta play some land grant. Come on.
Why am
Land
I
grant.
not just playing a forest?
Thins your deck.
But reveals my entire hand to the entire table.
So, words of wisdom from Paul. He was probed several times throughout the matches, and you just have to be like, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. They don't know your combos.
They
You
do.
think they're good? No, they don't. They'll know. They'll know Pili Pala.
I think they see
that's about
Midnight Guard, Ivy Lane Denizen, Pili Pala, or Devoted Druid and go, huh, this guy's a problem. I don't think anything in this deck is flying under the radar.
You say that now, but you know, I've also played Abdel with my combo sitting on the table with the top of my library revealed, and still got there. So I don't know.
I don't know about Land Grant. I guess it does get any forest, so it can tutor duels. And we're in
I don't have the duels.
color deck. Yes, you do. You literally do.
I only have the 2. For the forest.
Yeah, but they're
I'm
both
sorry.
the forest.
Yeah. I forgot. Because I have the jumpstart ones in there too. So how about this one? I can see you don't like the main deck, which is perfectly fine. I will hit you with that the mana base is on point. The mana base is very functional because it only has 31 lands. You have the triple bounce lands, which helps you have a secondary land drop if you don't have lands, which they also fix your mana. Then you also have the 2 forest for the land grant, and you have the forest seeks and all the other cards that get forests, like wood elves and whatnot. So you can always fix your mana. So if you look at the mana base, is actually just all green, and then you have 2 mountains and 1 plain, or 4 plains. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and we're playing with thriving lands for good fixing too. I like it.
Yep. So, and Path of Ancestry is insane in the deck, for the record.
Yeah, that's obviously very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the land base looks very solid. I will definitely give you that. Let's check the sideboard. We got the persist stuff in the sideboard.
I may opt to cutting a plains for another forest, so you know. That's about it. Just more forest is better because you could have a hand with no any other color, and then forest with like nature's lore and all those will get you the other colors to fix.
Okay, so executive decision. We are playing Reverent Silence.
You like my sideboard?
I do like the Reverent Silence. That's sauce.
Yeah. This is the other combos that are just sitting there that were in the deck at one point.
And yeah, there's some persist stuff down here. I don't know if we'll have room for persist stuff. But we'll take a look at least.
Revered Silence in the deck. This beats my deck. Sold.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it.
Solid. It also blows up Inspiring Leader.
We're not afraid of whatever deck would play that. That sounds just bad.
All right. Well, let's start by making some cuts.
Yeah. Send it.
Personally, I want to lean harder into combo and get rid of this punchy stuff because you know me.
Well, I would only argue against getting rid of all of it because the problem historically Rocco has always had is that it can only combo you, and there's so many games where you could survive, but then you have no way to actually punch them once. So I get it, but like my thought process to do the deck from the beginning was to be able to at least punch you to finish the game off, or present a punch you and then kill you with a combo because you were worried about like a Timberwatch elf, even though you should not have been worried about it at all. If that makes sense. That was just my philosophy. We could cut it all, but that's just kind of where I even thought of the deck from the beginning.
I think being on 50 creatures just gives us a punchy win con no matter if we play pump stuff or not. Also, some of our outlets for combo just deal passive damage, like the Witty Roastmaster and the Invoker.
Yep.
So I'm not sure we need a punchy win condition. Also, obviously, chat, if you guys have any comments, feel free to make them known. Tell us we're dumb. Uh,
Yeah.
so let's see. What do we not need? Skysweeper is gonna go to considering for me. Um,
Well, it sounded like you didn't like the Paratrooper, which is punchy, so you could cut it. If you notice, more of the cards are green in the deck on purpose.
yeah, I mean, yeah, we've got green dorks.
Yeah, that's why Kami's out of the deck and Sporefrog is in the deck to keep
Yeah.
more green.
Yep, gotta pay attention to our pips for sure. I like all of this.
What about that Paratrooper? You like that Paratrooper?
The
Right below the Sporefrog?
Paratrooper. I'm not sure how I feel about the Paratrooper. Um, yeah, Sniff. So, actually, I built Rocco a couple months ago, and I played the. I built it to test the Seeker Skybreak and a Hanger Scrounger combo.
No, that's what Sniff is talking about. That's
Yeah,
funny.
and it was pretty consistent. I could win fairly fast with it. The problem that I had with it was that it doesn't have much of a backup if they just nuke your Scrounger during the combo, like once you tutor it out.
Mm-mm.
And you also have to play a lot of bad cards. Like, the line is crazy when you get it online, because you can win with like 1 mana and 2 cards in hand once you get the combo out. So, like, it's a really strong win condition when you put it into play, but you just have to play so many bad cards to make the combo work, because you have to play like the 3 Eidolons that return to hand whenever you cast multicolor spells.
Yuck.
So that you can get cards in your hand so that you can loot them off. And yeah, you have to have a piece of protection or two. And yeah, it's really cool and it's super sick when it works. But yeah, just I think Rocco can do better.
Yeah, Rocco has so many different things though. Let's be realistic. Like the persist combo is insane. Like I didn't realize that half the combos for Rocco even existed. So,
but yeah, if you want, I can send you the the variant that I was playing. Sniff.
Tell Sniff the deck that
it.
you're making to go play with them.
Sniff says that he it's a pal's dream to play the Scrounger combo. Um, let's see. What else is punchy in here? I don't like the Farhaven Elf and Sylvan Ranger, but I feel like we might have to play them just for fixing, because 3 counter.
Yeah, and they're good like under the bus creatures.
Yeah.
Like they're really good at going under the bus. So
Um, Timberwatch goes to considering. Prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player. Why is this guy here? Is this residual from your persist combos?
which one?
Uh, Baronton Medic.
Oh, it's a functional reprint of Devoted Druid. It's the same card.
This does not make mana.
It doesn't need to make mana. It just needs to untap. So if you have it and you put the enchantment on it, you'll just keep producing tokens.
With the Presence of Gond and the Ivy Lane, yeah. But
Yep. And if you add Master Chef in the deck, it can have 2 different variants of it. I just put it in the deck to not forget the name of the card. It's technically not really in the deck at the moment.
let's see. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But
it was just in the main, so I didn't forget it.
Disciple, Kami, Shrine, Totem. Kami is one that I'm questionable on, but the haste is big. It does matter.
Yeah, so you do it to run out your Pilly like really quick, and then kill it, or like let it die somehow, or throw it under the bus. So then you're like vulnerable, and then you have the Kami to give it the haste that it needs, and then you're sauce.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not intentionally letting it die, but if it does die, then having the recursion is nice.
I've actually let it die, so you know. Like that card won me a match already.
I know you do that stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
Um
He's like, heck no. Well, it's really hard to give Pilly haste, and then you try to suit it up and it just dies.
No, I'm gonna put it into play, try to protect it if they try to kill it. And then if they waste all their removal on it and get there, then I'll just win next turn. Anyways, like that's the way I'm doing it.
Yep, that was my thought process too, building this.
I'm not just gonna let it die, but it does die. Not too upset.
A lot of mana ramp. A lot of mana ramp.
Yeah, no, the ramp just seems necessary. Ugh, man, I hate green so much. Like these cards all do literally nothing. But they're kind of necessary.
They thin your deck. They thin your deck. Let's be realistic.
Yay. I have a tutor in the command zone, bro.
I mean, you also could draw live cards that give haste. I'm just saying. Saying.
Yeah, or I could just tutor them.
You're not wrong.
I'm looking at the Ronus just because it dumps stuff into the yard. But I guess we have recursion, so that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. I mean, it looks at the top 5 to try to find one, or at least push you farther in the deck.
Yeah.
So, it's the only reason why it's there.
Ephemerate. Are you running Ephemerate as a protection piece?
I am. It's there for a protection piece, but you also have like 30 come into play cards. So like
not really.
You have the 2. How about this one? It's never been a dead card thus far.
I see. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then a couple, and then 5 top end.
Yeah.
So some.
It also lets you reset the counters on the druid as well, if needed.
Yeah. My main issue with it is that, like you said, we want haste, and then if we have to protect our piece with that, then it no longer has haste.
Yeah. I mean, be able to do the Shrine Steward and just go, okay, turn 4 Shrine Steward, untap, blink it again.
Yeah.
It's really good. Because then it finds you all the combos, so you have all of them in hand. So it's just like you said, you get to try to do this combo. If it doesn't work, then the next turn you do the different combo and try it again.
Let's see. We're on the digging removal. Um, some recursion. I'm not sure about reclaim.
It was bad. The renewal was way better. Like way better.
Yeah, I kind of want to play like just a piece of protection, like Vines of Vastwood over reclaim.
Uh, yeah. If my memory is kind of blanking. Actually, let me look. Now you made me have to look at a card now. Let's see.
Or we can throw in Master Chef.
Vines. Why do I not have vines?
Yeah, but Vines seems
I feel like I'm missing something here.
Vines seems like it should be in the list. Yeah, they just made a functional reprint of the Fire Prophecy for our format, which is very nice.
Somebody asked you that?
Steph was just talking about it in chat. Said he
Yes.
forgot that you made a copy.
Yeah, dude, like this is what Wizards has been doing with us. Like it's been freaking fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, we kind of have to play Vines. I'm glad I caught that wasn't in the deck. I I want to cut the sigil, even though it has cycling. Am I crazy?
Sigil? Um, I mean it's the combo with the Devoted Druid and Presence.
Oh, right, it does combo. I
Yeah.
forgot it works with that.
That's also why you have the medic, because you could also put both of those on the medic and go from there.
Yeah, yeah, I forgot that it actually still combos that way too.
So
Never mind, you're right.
that's the weird thing about it. Like a lot of people have told me, like historically, they're like, yeah, a lot of the combos with Rocco don't overlap. I don't see how that's true. Like this overlaps with that one overlaps with this one. The only non-overlapping combo is Pili Pala in the what is the name of the aura with Pili? Whatever the name of that aura is. The careful cultivation.
Yeah. So, um, 20 of our 31 lands are forests.
Yes.
Why are we playing wild growth instead of urban or utopia sprawl?
Because you're gonna mulligan down a hand that does that anyways, right? So you have to mull to a hand that has force no matter what. So I guess in theory you could play both. I do not own a the other one. So that's why you got wild growth. And the other one used to be like $8, so
Yeah. I think I want to play sprawl over wild growth right now. And then maybe we play wild growth later.
Maybe both. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think both is bad, but we are also on the reverent silence.
Oh, bro, you're trying to blow up our stuff, bro? Are you doing abundant growth or Utopia Sprawl? Ah, Utopia Sprawl.
Utopia Sprawl, yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think abundant growth is great for us because we're not playing many instants.
Instance? What do you mean? It's just the
Utopia
one that.
Sprawl?
No,
Or
abundant growth just draws a card.
oh, abundant growth. I was thinking urban burgeoning. Sorry, Gretchen. Dear Lord, I play too many of them. They all just mush together in my brain. Yeah, Utopia Sprawl does need a reprint. Sniff that this card's like this printing is $5.
Yeah, that's insane. That's why I don't have it. As dumb as that is. So
They're all $5 except for the secret layer that's $12. I didn't even
so
know this had a secret layer.
yeah. So obviously the blessing is in there to protect and stop opposing combos.
Yeah,
So
no,
that's the only
blessing
reason why it's
stays
there.
all
Yeah.
day. Let's take a look at our mana base now.
All right, let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Um,
What are you thinking about the mana base? Hit me with it. Hit me with it.
so I mean, it looks pretty spot on right now. So
Yeah, I mean it's pretty basic.
yeah, we
I will
didn't change
say,
the colors too much. So
yeah, I mean I think one plane swapped into a forest. Like that's it.
you want to switch a plains for a forest?
Yeah, or what is the color scheme you have right now? Because so mountains are the least needed color for the deck
Yeah.
entirely.
Yep.
So like we could even go to one mountain at worst. Because like the deck actively fetches for all your lands. If you're not
Yeah,
getting
I'd
your
cut a
lands,
mountain.
like you're failing, right?
Let's try cutting them out. Oh, I see one major problem.
What's up?
You already know, bro.
What? What is it?
You already know.
What? No, I don't. What do we do? What do we
We
do?
gotta add in the snow basics.
Get the fuck out of
Dude,
here,
they are
bro.
objectively better.
No, they're not. You know
Yes,
why
they
they're
are.
you know what? I could tell you why they're not. Ready? Are you ready? Because if you play against a Malcolm deck and they take your non-snow lands, they can't cast certain cards.
Um, that's true, but
Got you.
I would rather threaten people with Scred, and also that's specifically Malcolm Breaches.
Yeah. So
I would say the threat of Scred is better than losing a bit more to one of the best decks in the format. um,
eh.
we got Andrew in the chat. Let's go. Oh dear lord, I just cut the girl turf. I was looking at chat and just spamming the cut button.
Thank you, Sniff. We appreciate it. All right,
Oh
let's
no,
see.
no, no, you see, Sniff. We're not running Scred. We're just
Pretending.
allowing people to think
Yes.
that we might be playing Scred,
See.
which is
See,
one
Sniff
more
it.
piece of removal for one mana that they have to play around if we're holding open one red.
Sniff got that. Sniff's on the same side as me. Same side as
Also,
me.
Scred is a good card. But I digress.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
And what?
I want to see how necessary Season of Renewal is in playtesting before I cut it, but it's staring at me.
It's pretty sauce.
Like, it's good, but we've already got Disciple of the Sun and Kami of Industry.
Yeah, but it brings you back like weird stuff, right? Like so destroying enchantments is becoming more of a normal thing. So it lets you play more proactively with having more outs to bring stuff back. And like it literally so if you go for the win with um any of it, you get to bring back the creature and the aura that went into the yard as well. So it literally brings back both halves of the combo. Both times. So it doesn't matter which combo you're going for.
This is true.
It'll bring
And
back both
it
halves.
is instant speed, so we can do it at instant before our turn.
Exactly.
I
So like
guess
the
instant
card is
speed
sauce.
helps,
Like
but
that's one card I will say I'll take that over Ephemerate any day. Even if it sits in my hand for a few turns, it's always like the best backup.
yeah, Kami is here for Peely Paula as well as Ashnod's Altar, if that gets milled or gets put into the yard somehow. And it can also get back the Aegis Automaton. So it's got 3 targets. Um, but for the most part, it's backup for Pili Pala, yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll both be on the same page with this. I want to cast Rocco and win the game. I
Yep.
don't want to cast Rocco, bounce Rocco to my hand, bounce Rocco to my hand, and do it 12 times and just keep spinning wheels. I want to cast Rocco, win the game.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
the
that's
the end.
why I wanted to cut all the punchy stuff, because that just feels too slow when I can just tutor combo pieces and jam win attempts all game.
Yeah.
Um, so the big question for me in gameplay is going to be, do I have to tutor Aegis Automaton first?
I have not tutored it at all. In fact, every game I've won thus far with the deck, I haven't even drawn or seen the automaton. So
Yeah.
it has been completely unnecessary.
It felt pretty necessary when I was playing the Rummage variant, but that could just be part of playing a worse version of the deck. Um,
Oh no, because I got to use Dark Dweller to pop it, and I was able to use Ashnauts to pop it.
yeah, Dark Dweller
So
is
I was
nice.
able to, yeah, I was able to kill Rocco, and that wasn't even a big deal. Honestly, one of the games I played, I went end of turn Fire Prophecy, kill Rocco, and then untap and won the game.
Yeah, no, the version that I was playing was on like Lava Dart as a actual ritual for the deck, but you could also just use it to
Wow,
kill your Rocco, which is
wow, that's
hilarious.
funny.
Um,
You're telling us we need to play Gut Shot? Is that what you're saying? Is that what I hear?
no, because we're not that all in on just
Gut Shot for the
one
win!
combo. I don't like
Oh
running
my
Kami if
gosh.
I only have 5 targets. It makes sense here.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah, I'm not a fan of this Kami. It really sticks out to me, but it does have major blowout potential. So maybe it's worth it. We'll give it a shot at least before I cut it. Um,
How many cards are you at right now?
I'm at 100 right now.
Oh really?
Yep, I've been keeping it around 100. Um, the only card that I'm really hurting to get in the list right now is Master Chef.
Yeah, I could see it.
And even then, like, I don't know how necessary it is.
It just makes your team bigger, which I like a lot.
Yeah, helps with
Um,
the punchy backup plan and the combos.
so if you add literally only the safe hold elite, so just the one elf, that elf will allow you to have a persist loop with the Ivy Lane because you already have Ashnods in the deck to sack it.
Right.
And so it's like an awkward loop you can make happen. Like by accident. And it's just an elf, so it's like on tribe, so you can use it for like Birch Lore and Priest. And it's just a good creature that could die twice for Dark Dweller Oracle. Which is kind of nice. Or with the Dark Dweller Oracle in Master Chef or Ivy Lane, you're able to just net half your deck. Just keep going and going and going and going.
Well,
Which is kind of
Master
sick.
Chef doesn't let you put the counters back on the devoted druid. It only puts it on. It says other creatures enter the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, it's for the persist creatures. It's not
Yeah,
for the
it
devoted
only
true.
works with the
Yeah.
persist creatures, which makes me less wanting to put it in. But
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
if we do put it in, we have to put in the persist creature. So that's 2 slots. Master Chef is just so good with all the dorks, but you need to have Rocco on the battlefield, so it's not that good. Want to win with Rocco. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It looks good, but it might just not be worth Master Chef, which. Wow, that. That's a sentence.
That's saying a lot. Yeah. I mean, we have the perfect filter creature. Like the Sky Shroud is literally like the nuts.
Yeah.
So like we have so much like redundancy and everything. And like Birch Lore really lets you push ahead, ironically enough. It doesn't look like it does, but it does.
Is it crazy to say that Ephemerate is one of the worst cards in this deck? like,
Yeah, the one Ephemerate is not the greatest card. You're not
like,
wrong.
what
You're not wrong.
what kind of deck has Ephemerate as well, aside from ramp? Green ramp is disgusting and boring and bad.
I mean, this has a lot of good ramp, which is
it
nice.
has a lot of ramp.
Yeah.
the good ramp is the dorks, which is a decent amount of the deck. But man, I really hate land ramp. I'm gonna be honest, Chief.
Yeah.
It's just so slow.
You picked the wrong deck to want to build.
It's just so slow.
Maybe what else do you want to hit the deck with?
I hate that there's not a better option, I don't think. It just feels bad.
We have a couple other cards that are pretty saucy too. Like, are you sticking with that 100 right now? I mean, we have. So you don't want to go to the beatdown plan. Like, because there's cards like the Steadfast Unicorn that's just a good beatdown plan with like Vigilance and pumping the team for 4 mana. Like, it's not the worst. It gives Vigilance. You also, like, Hissing Iguanar with the Persist plane is really good. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that you can do with the deck. Also, too, do you like playing, like, one initiative creature? Literally just one? As in the Stirring Bard specifically, because it could give haste. Like, that's kind of... Being able to give haste a Pilly is insane. And once again, it lets you find a land. It's like a 4 mana land grant, which is weird.
Yeah, if we're gonna play an initiative creature, it is Stirring Bard, but I don't know. We do have a lot of creatures, so we can probably actually play it and not just throw the game by giving it to people for free, which is nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy saying the amount of PDH content is right now is astounding. Yeah, no, the format is definitely blowing up. Yeah, this is just the considering pile, Mizu, and we copied it from Chris's list, and he's really bad at maintaining his considering pile, so there were 2 copies of that card. But
well, that's because I try it more than once. That's why. Look, I go back and try again, and I know I never go back and look.
Like he's got land grant in the considering and the main board right now. Like his considering board is always a mess.
Yeah. These are facts. I don't
cut a couple of these cards that I know are in the main board. My man has Sky Shroud Claim in the considering, huh?
Bro, come on. Come on, channel. Well, I guess you're too young, but I was gonna say channel your inner 15-year-old. That's when I used to play that card.
My inner 15-year-old was 6 years ago.
Yeah, that's not enough time.
I used to play the card when I was 15 too, but that was in casual Commander, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
And only when I was playing a friend's deck, because I didn't play green.
There's 2 copies of Invoker. There's actually 3 copies of Invoker, I believe.
There were 2 in the considering, and then
there's a different one in the main. Right?
There's also a different Invoker in the considering. So, 4 Invokers if you wanna go down that route.
It's so ridiculous. There's so many different ones. I wanted to put the white Invoker in here too, by the way. The one that you pay 8 and you tap out.
Oh, it's right here.
Yeah. That one's pretty sus.
That one's probably definitely the worst one.
I
think I kind of like where the list is at, right? Oh, that's right. We put in Snow Basics, so we also get access to a 2 mana ramp spell that you didn't have access to before with Into the North. Yet another reason why snowlands are objectively better. Um, do we want to
Uh,
play this
and yeah,
over Search for Tomorrow? I think so.
Search for Tomorrow's turn 1, so you don't need a turn 1 dork.
Yeah, but it doesn't ramp you until turn 3.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's your goal, is to get turn 3 on turn 4. Or I'm sorry, turn 4 on turn 3. Right? So it does the same thing. They all mathematically give you turn 4 on turn 3. Or turn 3 on turn 2. So a 1 mana dude gives you that a turn early. So does Search for Tomorrow gives you a turn early. So if you have a mana dork in hand, you could do turn 4 on turn 6. If I'm saying that correctly. I don't think I am, but
But if we
whatever.
go turn 1 Dork,
You just go turn 2 Search for Tomorrow
turn 2
for 3
hard
mana.
cast Search,
Yeah.
which
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's doing the same thing.
Sucks.
Just because you don't like the cards doesn't make them not do what they're supposed to be doing.
I
That's
guess
what
it
they're
does,
supposed to be
It
doing.
does put it into play untapped, so
Yes, it does.
that is relevant.
Yes, that is notable. For the record, that is notable.
So I guess the card that I would consider cutting for Into the North would be Land Grant.
Yeah, but land grant is so free. Literally. It's literally free. Come on.
Right.
You could keep
But
a no-lander with land grant and like 3 dorks, bro.
I do hate Land Grant.
Bro, it's so accidentally good.
But Into the North also gets us our snow duels, and it puts them into play, and we don't have to waste a land drop on it.
All right, then I'll give you this. We'll cut a land for Into the North. I'm so about that.
Okay, it makes our land grant better, guys. We're gonna cut to like 25 lands.
Bro,
so
I'm
that
in
we
for
can
that.
reveal our hand and
It's not that relevant revealing
so we
your
can
hand.
give
You'd
our
be surprised.
opponents a free Gitaxian Pro.
Nah, they don't get to draw.
Yeah, they do.
No.
They draw for turn. Every single one.
No, get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll keep Into the North in mind if we need more ramp, but we've got a good amount of ramp already.
Bro, let's it's how long have we been doing this?
Yeah,
what time are we at?
Dude, I don't know.
I mean, do you want to like test this shit out? Like, we take this, look for an LFG, and slam some games with it.
Yeah, I mean,
what do you got? Do a test hand. Let's see how bad this is.
What we got for a test hand here?
You got to refresh it though. Don't forget to refresh it.
Nah, we just go with this.
What do we got? What do we got?
Let's just assume we're keeping these hands and not mulliganing. See how good this deck is raw.
Do you even have a forest in that hand? I can't see the last card.
Forest Findhorn Elf, turn 1.
Where's a Findhorn Elf?
I guess you're covering the hand. Here we go. I'll move you up here. Forest Findhorn Elf, turn 1. Not bad.
Okay.
And then turn 2, we can we can go Plains Harrow, or we can jam Peely Paula and put down the bounce land.
I mean, I'm in for the Harrow into Peely Paula because Harrow puts him untapped.
Yeah, I think that plays better.
Yeah.
So
like, that's just sauce.
Harrow,
kind of sucks that you're drawing all the win conditions, but you know.
We go get another forest and
you have mountain. You have a mountain with the Boros Garrison.
Yeah, so but we have 2 red cards in hand.
Yeah, but you don't play those
And
until
we
you're
also
like.
have a single mountain in the deck, so let's just pull it out now. Um,
Yeah, that's true. There's literally one.
and then
uh,
Feely Paula. And then we top deck the win con right here. Oh, if we
but
top
thank
deck.
you, Mizzy. Yes, gameplay stream. Hell yes.
um, yeah, so this is not a bad board state for turn 3. Um,
I mean, you could use Rocco reactively here, right? Like, let's be realistic.
we don't
Like,
have
they're gonna.
white right now. Um, unless we use the Peely Paula. And then we would cast Rocco for 0, so that's not good.
Yeah.
So this turn is just either dropping a Witty or the Caustic, I think. I think we just put the Caustic into play.
I mean, you could do both, right? Witty and caustic. Depends what
Right,
your
but
opponents have,
this
though,
is,
right?
yeah, this is the hold up mana to activate the Caustic.
Mm,
Um,
got you. Yeah. So we
if
got
we
to get the
didn't,
Boros Garrison, and yeah,
yeah, if
I
we
mean,
didn't
it
have
looked.
to, we could drop that too, but.
Yeah.
And then we find our planes, because we're on 4 planes, and that's why we tutor the mountain. Um, but yeah, like
This
2,
isn't
3,
bad,
4,
right?
5,
Like,
6, which means we can go for Rocco with a Heliod Pilgrim, tutor our win con, and go for a turn 5 win.
it's not the worst, right?
Because we can make infinite mana, cast our Invoker, shoot the Rocco, put it back into the command zone, and then go off from there.
I mean, I would. So, talking to Sniff, I would let you know that I would run out to Pilly. Like, why not show it at this point, right? Like, we're already telling that we're doing this as it is, and like Abdel does this. Like, like all these decks in the format tell you what they're doing when they're doing it.
So
Like,
the thing about running out the Peely Paulo with this hand is that, like, in this instance, we literally just go, okay, turn 4, Rocco for 3, grab
yeah,
a Heliod's Pilgrim,
yep,
and then, you know, next turn we pay 3 for the Heliod's,
yeah.
grab
I
a
mean,
Careful Cultivation, cast the Careful Cultivation, and we're going for a turn 5 win. Um, and if it fails, we have the Kami as backup.
yep. Yeah, see, that's why
If
Kami is
someone
so
removes
soft,
the
right?
Peely Paula before our turn. Obviously, it still sucks if we cast the Careful and they kill it in response. Then we just start going on a different game plan. But
Yeah.
being able to just attempt a turn 5 win is not bad. So Rocco would be in play here, but if we make our infinite mana, then we can cast our Valakut Invoker and shoot the Rocco, and then recast it and get whatever we want, or just, shoot people with Valakut.
I mean, the fact that we drew both of our win conditions is kind of poo poo. Like, that's like the worst part about this, right? So,
Um, this hand is poo poo.
this hand is poo poo.
I guess it's like fine if we're at a slow table. We have a ramp and disruption, but like
I never keep a
this
hand with
card,
Rocco.
this card does nothing, and this card
I
is
mean,
5 mana.
yeah, it's a match dependent hand, right? Like, you're not keeping this. Let's be honest. There's like a ton of freaking one drops in this deck. Like,
And yeah, Mizu, we can use the Kami of Industry to tutor get Peely Paula into play with haste.
yep.
So that hand we're probably not keeping. This hand is interesting. Because if we go turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, we don't want a Boros Garrison. Which is
Yeah.
another reason that I wanted to play Utopia Sprawl or Wild Growth, because we're on all of the bounce lands. Um, so playing both is kind of rough.
Well, no, you're
Um,
perfectly fine because it's turn 1 Forest Utopia
oh, we
Sprawl.
have the
Untap, play
Sylvan
the
Ranger.
Ranger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, you're chilling, dude. Like, this hand's nuts.
yeah,
This hand is great. It has disruption, it has draw, and it has ramp. Like, this hand's gas.
yeah, this hand's good.
Yeah.
Here we grab the mountain again. I think we're just always grabbing mountain first, just because we're way more likely to draw into the.
Yeah, everything else.
Also, right here, notably, what do we get a hold up, chat? Scred.
Get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
We get
That
a bluff
horrible
two removal
scred, bro.
spells.
This man with the scred for 1.
Scred for
Gotta.
2, first off.
Oh, for 2. Glorified shock.
Oh,
Can't
I'm
even
sorry.
go
Does that
face
kill a
with it.
Malcolm winning on turn 3? I think it does.
Hashtag days. Yeah. Oh, man.
And
Yeah,
then,
dude, this hand is gas, bro. Like,
what do we
this
do
is
turn 3, though?
gas.
Just cast this, I guess?
You cast the elf, right? Why do you not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just cast the elf.
Yeah, you just keep running up the chain because then you get to draw with the companion. Then you could play the Ronas or hold up interaction, and then you get the sun for more redundancy.
Cast the elf. There's the careful cultivation in hand with the disciple of the sun for protection for the Pili-Pala. Can we run out Pili-Pala this turn? 1, 2, 3,
Hell yeah.
4, 5.
Yeah.
And, we don't have quite enough mana to hold up the benevolent blessing with the Pili-Pala.
That's fine. We just run it out though, right? Like if we're trying to win as fast as we can because this is testing.
This is another turn 5 win with 1 mulligan.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then we got the land grant, which we are not casting because we are not revealing that we have protection.
This man. So we don't need
careful cultivation with a benevolent blessing for protection. Not
yeah, I mean this wins the game.
5. Not bad.
This is sus.
Not bad.
Right? This is
well,
sus.
Actually, does infinite mana win us the game here?
Yeah, you kill your Rocco. With the
oh right, we have a fire prophecy.
Yeah, you kill the
Boom.
Rocco.
Shoot the Rocco, cast the Rocco, get Aegis Automaton, bounce the Rocco, do whatever we want. Good game.
Yep, see? Get there.
Yeah, who wants to play against this abomination?
This is funny, bro. Come on, this deck is pretty good. Gotta give it to it. This deck's pretty sauce. I'm about it.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Solid.
Like, I know you're hating on these ramp cards, but like, it's too easy to just ramp for no reason.
Yeah, the
ramp.
fact that ramp actually gives us access to win condition is the only reason I'm comfortable playing them.
I'm also gonna throw out there that the 2 elves those were 2 elves that you wanted to like cut in the beginning. You're like, these are just bad.
I said I wanted to cut them, but then later on I did say we have to keep them. I did say that.
Yep.
But yeah, Gator, if you want to play this deck, I will keep the stream going and pull up the spectator and watch.
Oh no, dude!
Because I can't run the OBS and this stuff right now because that takes too much setup. But if you want to play a game, and I will spectate so that chat can watch.
No, let's you know how I am with OBS, bro. I'm horrendous with that. So let's hop on some LFGs and maybe I could Twitch
chat up for a game.
I could Twitch this, so I could VOD this and hold games that you play with us.
Yeah, I mean, either way.
So there's a bunch of different ways we could keep the gameplay. Rocco looks fun. I agree. I have been harping on Rocco for a while. I actually played against a few people with Rocco and smothered them. And
Yeah,
then I
no, I think
watched a
Rocco is
few.
just blatantly powerful, but like not many people actually play it.
Well, who is the individual that was prepping for RIW? I believe it's like by the name of Rinzi, I believe, that's in the Common Connoisseurs. They were playing the deck
Yeah,
and were just getting smashed. I believe they were like 1-5 or something like that, or some absurd thing to where they were losing a bit of hope with the deck. Maybe they had
sounds
another
like
win, but
Fendhorn and Jonathan are both looking for a game.
uh oh. Well, I'm about it, Finhorn. And hey, welcome, Finhorn, by the way. Yeah, I'm in. If you guys want to catch one, we'll hop over and we'll play one.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
you go ahead and play the game, and I will just stream it.
You want me to play the deck?
Yeah, you play
Uh,
it. Hey man, you just
uh.
watched me win turn 5 2 games in a row. Like, you got
Well, I
this.
could I could play the deck, but you would have to help me set up my OBS. You know I don't know how to do that crap.
Oh,
That's why I only play with
you've
real
never
cards.
played on Moxfield?
Only once ever, and Islane helped set me up. So you know.
Um,
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. That's what I'm saying. Play it, bro. Let's get
I
in
would
here and
have to. I can't stream my
oh, that's
OBS
right. The
and record
stream.
the actual
Hmm.
spell table
Hmm.
game with my current OBS setup,
Hmm.
and I'd
Hmm.
have to
Hmm.
screw up the stream to do it.
I wonder. Let me see. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I can make this happen. Let me see if I could channel my inner brainiac
All
here.
you have to do to play Moxfield on OBS is just crop your screen down so that it's only showing the playtest field. It's
Well, I
not
have it
that
set up.
complicated.
It is for me when I have no idea what you just said.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I don't have any of my OBS actually set up for anything. So how about this one? Let me hop out, get it set up, and then I'll hop into a game
Sounds good.
and hop back in here with you. How about that?
I will put the stream on Be Right Back and I can help you set it up.
Yeah, let's make that happen. We'll play some Rocco.
Alrighty, guys, we will be back soon.
All right.
Alrighty, we are back, and we have some gameplay lined up for all of you guys. Um, Question for everybody before the game actually gets started, I suppose. Do you guys want to hear the players or not? This is your favorite TV show? Awesome. This is my favorite TV show too. They're still getting ready to actually play, but Gator had to completely set up his OBS because he has never played using Moxfield before. So let's see, we got Phyrexian Sensor in seat 1, the brand new Rocco deck in seat 2. Seat 3, we have Jonathan on Tatiova. And seat 4, we have Islaine playing Denethor, which I've played against once, and it was alright. I think it'll be interesting to see Denethor at a table with Censor, especially Censor in seat 1. Seems like a pretty decent pod for Denethor. Um, Obviously, Rocco is annoyed by Phyrexian Censor. Um, it's pretty hard for Rocco to win through a Phyrexian Censor, especially since we ended up cutting all of the beatdown stuff. So Rocco's going to have to remove the Phyrexian Censor itself. And additionally, sitting right behind the Phyrexian Censor, it means that when we try to remove it, Findhorn is likely to have some untapped mana to be able to protect it. So, rough situation for Rocco here. If Rocco manages to pull through this, I will be extremely impressed. That is for certain. Yeah, we're live. They can't hear you guys though. Yeah. Yep. They don't want you guys to hear, so we'll keep them muted. But yeah, I think Rocco is in a very, very difficult situation here. It seems to me that Phyrexian Censor is going to come down, and Rocco's going to be in a really tough spot unless someone tries to remove it at a poor time and just let us win. Or we just naturally draw into a combo line where we already have an Invoker in play and we're able to just make infinite mana. But that seems really unlikely with Tatiova at the table as well. Um, Maybe the play with Rocco here is to try to tutor the Valakut Invoker out and then activate it to kill the sensor and then combo off. Like, just play value ramp until we can get to this game plan, and then we're not casting a spell to remove the Phyrexian sensor. Maybe that's the line here. It's scuffed, but it's a line, at least. Or we can just try to go Presence of Gone, make a board of infinite 1/1s and pass. And pray that that gets us there, because the only thing that can really deal with that at this table is black board wipes or an Echoing Truth. So just making infinite 1/1s could be a win condition as well. Yeah, Brownie is definitely out for blood. I'll go ahead and flip Brownie's video for you guys. But yeah, Denethor is probably on a lot of removal, and it also plays pretty well under Censor, which is nice. Having an activated ability is good. Tatiova gets passive value from just playing lands, which still functions on under Phyrexian Censor. It still has to remove the Censor to combo off. Tatiova doesn't have any combo lines that work under Phyrexian Censor. Whereas Rocco technically does in certain board states, but Tatiova is probably going to have an easier time removing the Censor. But it looks like we have the turn 1 land untapper, which happens to be the Arbor Elf, so if we have a Utopia Sprawl, that'll be really nice. Brownie with the Plains and Pass, Jonathan with a tapped land, Islane with an artifact basic. But yeah, this is a really interesting pod. I'll be very interested to see how this turns out. Into the Marble Diamond. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm streaming. I should click on cards as they get played. See if Spell Table wants to work. Looks like the answer is no. Spirited Companion from Gator, gonna enter and draw a card. We're gonna untap our forest and cast another Mana Dork. The Boreal Druid. Spell Table does not want to load that Marble Diamond, dear lord. There you go, Marble Diamond. We have the land. Oh, what do you guys call the land idiot? Is that what you guys, the pals, call him? Taps to put a land into play. Looks like we had the Ash Baron's cycle at the end step from Islane. Got the command tower. I have no idea what this is. An extort creature, maybe? 2 mana, 2/1 Vigilance Afterlife. Stream quality is capped at 480. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's see if there's anything I can do about that. Doesn't look like it. So I apologize for that. Bit of a scuffed improv stream. We did not plan on streaming today until about 2 hours before we started streaming, and we're like, oh, well, we're both free. Let's stream. This card on Findhorn's board, I don't know what it's called, but it's a rebel with flying and protection from red. And Gator has put a Barrington Medic into play, which means that if we have access to the Presence of God, we could potentially be looking to win under a Phyrexian sensor if we find the Ivy Lane Denizen and the Presence of God. So that's actually not too shabby. And it also gives us a bit of a life padding against these against the stacks deck, which is not too shabby. Looks like we're just ramping for Tatiova. And we're playing bodies that make bodies when they die for Islane. Every single one of his creatures die and make a token. So he's got a good board state coming up under the Phyrexian sensor here with his commander. And it looks like we're swinging the 2-1 Vigilance over at Jonathan. Chipping down the Tatiova player here. Probably recognizing that Rocco is going to struggle under the Phyrexian sensor, and the life gain from Tatiova is actually relevant at this pod, so we are just working on battering down Tatiova here. And there's the sensor. Unfortunately, missing a land drop. So we're going to be on 3 mana for a bit. Which is difficult. It's harder to break parity. But is this a Presence of God? No, it's just Wood Elves. If he had the Presence of God here, that would have been so cool. We would still have to wait another turn cycle to put the Ivy Lane Denizen into play. But we're just going to go ahead and cast the Wood Elves. We're going to ramp up so that we can get a big Rocco. What do we have for big Rocco? We can get Totem Guide and Shrine Steward or the Heliod's Pilgrim to tutor for the Presence of God. Or we can tutor out the Valakut Invoker, like I was saying earlier, to get removal on a stick if we have enough mana. So, yeah, not being able to protect the sensor this turn cycle could be rough, but luckily Rocco didn't have the win in hand this turn cycle, so Rocco didn't just remove the Phyrexian sensor and win. Would have been really cool considering Tatiova is tapped out to be able to just go for a win this turn, but you know, maybe the turn 4 win is a bit too much to ask for. I don't think there's a line where Rocco can win on turn 4 with this board state anyways, so. It looks like we traded the Arbor Elf for the Walking Atlas, actually. That's an interesting decision, considering the sensor is in play and just kind of holding Tatiova back. But yeah, it looks like Tatiova just getting the land and passing. How big is this 5-drop that Gator has in play? It's a 0/4. It doesn't have any power. It can't block and kill one of Islan's things. That's kind of annoying. Getting rid of bodies would be nice. But I suppose Islane could also just swing into Tatiova here if that's what he's scared of. Also, funnily enough, this wandering chorus or crawling chorus is a Phyrexian. So Islane could have potentially double spelled underneath of the Phyrexian sensor, which would have been pretty funny. But looks like we're casting a Foreboding Fruit. I don't know why he's putting that into the yard. Alright, Foreboding Fruit. Looks like we paid Adamant with triple black, so we're going to get a food token as well. Draw 2, lose 2 life, make a food token. And we're passing it over to Findhorn. Finds the land drop. And we're just ramping. I suppose the board state is stalled enough where you can probably afford to just ramp. Make sure you have access to mana to protect Censor later. Considering Tatiova is probably just dropping Tatiova. Gator going to go ahead and use the effect on the Barrington Medic to prevent 1 damage and take 1 in the air from the flyer. Tatiova taking 3 from the Phyrexian sensor. Yeah, this protection from Red Rebel is not doing much this game. Ashnod's Altar coming out for Gator. This is a value piece because of the sensor in play already. I guess it lets him cast Rocco on a turn, tutor something into play. Oh, is this... Never mind, this is the pro black one, I guess, not the pro red one. So it does a bit more, I guess. But I guess Ashnod's Altar lets us cast Rocco on a turn, and then on the next turn cast Rocco again, and just put stuff into play. We can put an Ivy Lane into play, and then put a Heliod's Pilgrim into play. But then we still have to cast the Presence of Gond. So that's a 3-turn, extremely telegraphed combo under the sensor, which is really annoying. And we don't have enough mana to activate the Invoker unless we sacrifice some creatures. But that is a play we can make. We could tutor the Invoker, and then at the end of Brownie's turn, after a turn cycle, we can maybe sack off some of our board to get rid of the sensor, and then go for a win on our turn if we have enough pieces in hand. But we probably want to play a slow game until then. Just tutor the Ivy Lane into play or something. Jonathan going for a Nature's Lore, not casting the Tatiova. We are just ramping so that when we do put our Tatiova into play, we can protect it. And we're also holding up mana potentially to interact with the Rocco. There's the Denethor coming down. I doubt this gets countered because it's such a slow value piece. But it does put a clock on the game since we now have access to life drain every turn. It's a very slow clock, but a clock nonetheless. Oh, we are actually going to counter it. Yeah, acknowledging that this is a clock under the Phyrexian sensor, and we don't have any blockers, so we're gonna be taking a lot of damage already. Can't afford to just let Islane have a free life drain every turn, I guess. Because if you don't know how Denethor works, if a creature died at the end of your turn, you make a 1/1, and then whenever it comes around to your turn, you can just sacrifice that 1/1, drain the table, and then make another. It's very slow for a clock, but there's a Phyrexian sensor in play, so that's holding back the Rocco and Tatiova so much that it is a legitimate clock in this game. So Jonathan deciding to just get rid of that. Makes me think Jonathan probably has another counter spell in hand as well. Yeah, this game is definitely going to be grindy sniff, that is for certain. Looks like we're swinging again. Probably the same attacks, although it looks like maybe the sensor is also going at Gator this time. Now realizing that the blocker is an 0-4 maybe. I don't know. Looks like the sensor is going at his lane. And the flyer's going at Gator. Gonna negate 1 damage again. It's funny that right now this blocker that Gator has just says tap, gain 1 life, since he's getting swung at every turn. This looks like one of the rebels that tutors, I assume, if spell table will load it. And Gator is going with some card draw here. Oh, this is sorcery speed. That's unfortunate. If this was instant speed, it'd be like really, really good though. So I definitely understand it being sorcery speed. I'm gonna make my camera a little bit bigger. Also, my green screen lighting wasn't good enough for me to put anything behind me while we're live. But if you guys want to put random stuff behind me for your own amusement, go for it. Oh no! It's the faded. It's the classic Tatiova win con. Casting Shoreline Ranger. Many memes have been spoken. And we're here. We've done it. The Shoreline Ranger. Win condition detected. Yeah, put a Howling Golem behind me. Do it. I still want to pull up this Rebel, but it's not letting me. Notably, this Shoreline Ranger gives a blocker for the Nightwind Glider as well. So that's at least 2 life gained every turn, but it looks like we tapped down the Shoreline Ranger somehow. Did I miss something, chat? Oh, right. Phyrexian Sensor has that text. Um, I completely forgot about this text, and apparently so did everyone else in this game. But yeah. Non-Phyrexians enter tapped, so you can't use creatures as a blocker the turn they enter. I always forget about that line of text on this card, but it is relevant. Um, Funnily enough, that doesn't stop our haste combo with Pilipala because Pilipala's effect is an untap. But it does mean we have to sink a bit of extra mana into it. The first part is what stops the Pilipala combo, because if we cast it and give it haste with the other guy, then we cannot also cast the Careful Cultivation, and the Kami makes it sacrifice at the end of turn. Kami of Industry. This is the card in question. Rocco. It's in our Rocco list. You can tutor it to put the Pilipala into play, and it gets haste, but it gets sacrificed at the next end step. And we don't have a way to cast this at instant speed. Otherwise, since it says next end step, we could theoretically cast it during Findhorn's end step and then combo off on our turn. But we do not have access to casting this at instant speed, unfortunately. Standard Bearer coming out. This means that we can no longer go for enchantment combo lines with auras, which sucks because that's the one combo piece that Gator has in play. Oh yeah, that's clearly a Dan. Thanks, Scryfall. Sometimes spell table just be like that. Let's delete that. Standard Bear. So if we want to try to put a Presence of Gond on our creature that can untap, too bad. You have to put it on the Standard Bearer, since that is a legal target for an aura. So yeah, looking like a rough game for Rocco here. Now even if we do tutor out our Valakut Invoker, we have to shoot the Standard Bearer and then the Phyrexian Sensor, and then try to win. So that's a very difficult task. Ashnod's Altar helps, but it can only do so much. We will see what Gator's play is here. We can cast Rocco for 4. What is up? Right now we are watching a gameplay with Phyrexian Sensor in seat 1. So everyone is basically locked into one spell a turn. Meanwhile, we have a creature combo deck that needs to cast a bunch of spells, a land combo deck that needs to cast a bunch of spells, and an aristocrats deck that is not having to cast a bunch of spells. So it's kind of these two decks playing their game plan, and then the two combo decks are trying to figure out how to win through that game plan and get rid of this Phyrexian Sensor. So it looks like we got the Rocco to resolve. What are we tutoring? Looks like he was hovering the benevolent bodyguard for a bit, but probably not the play. Disciple of the Sun? The Heart of East. We're getting the big Helion's Pilgrim. What is this thing even called? Totem Guide Heart of East? It's a 2/5. And when it comes into play, it tutors an aura to hand. Which we are doing with a standard bearer in play. So I'm not certain on that one. We're going to have to remove the standard bearer before we put an aura into play here. That's something worth considering. I don't think we currently have any aura removal. No. So maybe like a I can't even think of the name. The enchantment that turns creatures into cowards. What's that card called? I can't think of it right now. That's probably worth considering. Reprobation? I think that's it. Yeah, this is probably worth considering. Looks like we're casting the Tatiova. Putting a land into play, gain a life, draw a card. Gonna add a reprobation to the sideboard here. Yeah. And our land drop that gained a life and drew a card also made us a food token to gain life. We got the depletion land. And a suture priest. Alrighty. That'll also stop Presence of Gone combos. Also, I'm totally blanking. Did anyone see what Gator tutored for his aura? I thought he was hovering over the sigil, but I'm not certain I saw him pick it up. Maybe I clicked off when he chose, and no one knows. Oh, is this the nasty end or whatever? No. Mordor Muster. 2 mana, draw a card, lose a life, amass orcs 1. So this is just a Dusk Legion Zealot that is an army instead of the creature. I don't know if we're already on the Dusk Legion Zealot potentially and just playing both, or if there's a reason that he's playing this over Dusk Legion Zealot. I don't know, but lost connection with Findhorn for a bit there. Just having a good time watching. I never learned tutoring because I stopped playing when everyone went off to college. Yeah, it sucks we didn't get to play some more. We'll have to play next time we meet up. But yeah, so Rocco is kind of just a crazy card because whenever he enters the battlefield, you just get a search for any creature with a mana cost of X or less. So you pay 3 and X, and then you search for any creature in your deck with mana value X or less and just put it into play. So Rocco basically says in the command zone, I can cast any creature from my deck by paying 3 extra mana, which is very powerful, especially with combos. Yeah, someday we'll meet up. We'll get there. We're pointing at our rebel. Are we activating our rebel at end step? This is how we break parity in the stacks deck. We use our ability to effectively draw cards. Looks like Islane is sacrificing his Doom Dissenter to get a zombie, and at end step he'll get the 1/1 token off of his commander. And he also drains 1 life from everybody. And then we are going to activate our rebel to search for a rebel. It'll be interesting to see if Fyndhorn goes for another rebel that tutors, or if we're going for a different rebel here. One that has a higher board impact. Alright, I picked this one up. We're getting Lightbringer. Which is a removal rebel. And it looks like the rebel tutor that we have in play is one that you pay 4 and tap it to get a 3 or less cost rebel from your deck into play. So yeah, we now have access to removal for Islane's commander. That's the rebels line up very awkwardly in this game because Islane's the only player with black and Gator's the only player with red, which are the 2 colors that rebels counter. And Gator's red creatures are not particularly important. So the black counter rebels are much more relevant. It is unfortunate that you have to sacrifice the Lightbringer, so it's one-time use, but it would probably be way too strong if it wasn't one-time use. So. Makes sense. Yeah, looks like we are just going in, trying to get some damage. Looks like we're swinging at Gator, which is interesting. I don't know what Fyndhorn's win condition is against Islane, honestly, in this game. I think Islane is, like I said at the beginning, I think Islane is in a very good spot with Phyrexian Censor at the table against these 2 decks specifically. I appreciate these players for playing pretty quickly. Keeps the stream going, helps out a lot. All right, show us the line, Gator. Sacrifice Rocco for 2 mana, which will pay for the commander tax. Cast Rocco for 1, 2, 3, 4. Rocco for 4. Are we grabbing the Ivy Lane Denizen? Oh, we are going for this line. All right. We are grabbing the Valakut Invoker. We are setting up to attempt to win. So Gator did see the same line that I saw. Yeah, I mean, this is your win condition. Also, luckily for us, Fendhorn has tapped down his creature that tutors rebels into play, which means this turn cycle, Fendhorn can't tutor the red version of Lightbringer into play, Lawbringer, I think, which would remove our removal. But luckily, it looks like that's not going to happen before we get to activate at least once. So yeah, good stuff. But that also means that Gator has to choose if he's going to remove the creature that can tutor removal for his Valakut Invoker, the Standard Bearer, or the Phyrexian Censor. If we have a win attempt line in hand ready to go, I would assume we shoot the Phyrexian Censor on end step, and then untap, use a removal spell on the Standard Bearer, and then try to go off. Unless we have a line that doesn't require targets. Do we have a line that doesn't require targets? I don't know if we do. I can't think of a line that doesn't require targets. So I don't know if we have a combo line that gets around the Standard Bearer. Maybe that's something to consider too. Especially considering how low we are on removal. I do not know. But I also don't feel bad for cutting the beatdown plan creatures in this matchup, because like our elf that pumps equal to our elves can target any creature, which means we still can't pump our board. We would have to pump the Standard Bearer, which makes things really awkward. Oh, I'm stupid. Of course you can't activate the Valakut Invoker and shoot the Phyrexian Censor first. You have to target the Standard Bearer. So I don't know what I'm talking about there. Ignore that. Looks like we're just using the Shoreline Ranger as a blocker to deal with Islane some wide board. Looks like maybe we are activating our commander. Or the creatures are trading. I'm not sure which. Going to instep, making another body. Let the bodies hit the floor. I'm telling Islane that he should name his deck that now. Are we exiling Islane's commander at instep? If Islane tries to cast a protection spell, it has to go towards the standard bearer. Unless it can target only his creatures. Also, funnily enough, the Suture Priest has not been dealing much damage. This is just a table where it doesn't do as much as it typically does. Looks like we're just activating our commander in response to the removal. Yep, and letting it go back to the command zone. Sensor gets to untap once again. We've been on 6 mana for a while, but that's plenty when you're only casting 1 spell a turn. Although your Rebel Tutor does cost 4 to activate, so the Rebels are very mana hungry, but it does let you break parity in mono white, so you gotta do what you gotta do. And it'll also give us a way to deal with this Invoker from Gator, which we kind of have to deal with if we are Fendhorn, I believe. Casting a Felwar Stone for turn. Just going to go ahead and ramp, make sure we have mana for our Rebels and other stuff. Frantic Search at end step so that we can hold up interaction on Gator's turn potentially, even though there's a standard bearer in play and a rule of law. Or we just have another cantrip at Gator's end step that we want to use. Alright, Gator is also opting to just ramp here, throwing out a mana dork. We'll see if Spell Table decides to load the card or not, but it taps for a green, and it also lets us filter mana into red and white. Yep, here we go. For 1 mana, notably. So it's very good. It's just perfect mana fixing for the deck. All of our mana can be red or white, and as you can see, we have a lot of green mana. So, yeah. Do we have 8 mana left over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do not have enough mana. Oh, we can sack to the Ashnod's altar, right? Um, Did we sack to Ashnod's altar, or did we swing at somebody? Ah, let's see. Jonathan is ramping on instep, it looks like. Or are we just cycling that? Treasure Cruise, 1 mana, draw 3, 8 cards in hand. We are discarding to hand size today. Not sure if he's exiled cards from his graveyard yet, but it looks like he has and still has 8 left over. So if he can get that Treasure Cruise back, that's another 1 mana draw 3. Just gonna discard a mana dork at instep. I would assume Jonathan would be looking to remove this Phyrexian Censor here soon and go for a flicker win. But if he can get Gator to remove it for him, then that would be even better, which could be what he's waiting for as well. His lane just recasting the commander. Looks like we sacrificed our depletion land to make 6 mana to recast it and get a counter. It should get 2 counters, but because this is the second time we've cast it from the command zone. So it should be a 4/6. I'll be right back, guys. Continue to enjoy. Alright, we're back. What did I miss? It looks like we did tutor the red removal creature at instep, and we are just now going to turn. Um, yep, there we go, Lawbringer. So this is how we are dealing with the Valakut Invoker. Fortunately, not much Gator could do about that one preemptively. So I assume we're sacking Wood Elves to Ashnod's altar here. I assume that's how it's dying. Wait, what? Why is the standard bearer dead? Gator didn't tap the mana. Vision schemes at instep. Each player draws two. Wow. Very bold card to be playing. I'll be honest. Very bold card. The thing about this card, not only does it draw all of your opponents two cards, but you have to use a card to do it. So it nets you one card, and all of your opponents net two cards off of this. Not a card that I would call good, personally. I'll be blatantly honest there on that one. Yeah, I don't know how the standard bearer died. Maybe Gator did it and just didn't want to tap his lands because he's lazy. And then we didn't activate our Aegis Automaton. Or we did. Sorry, I said Aegis Automaton because that's what Gator's casting. We didn't activate our Lawbringer. Which means Gator gets another removal with one sacrifice and the Valakut Invoker, which means he gets to remove the Phyrexian Censor before his turn as well. And then if he has a way to get infinite mana, he could win. But Tatiova also has 9 cards in hand. So I can understand Finhorn not wanting to just remove the Valakut Invoker. Because it's likely that Jonathan will be able to stop Gator. Yeah, we are on the alternate win conditions for Tatioma, that's for sure. We are just casting all of our island cycle creatures as big creatures, since there's a rule of law in play. And that's our win condition now. Just survive throughout a couple of big bodies and pray we get there. Discarding another mana dork at the end of turn because they don't matter anymore. We have so many lands in play, and there's still a Phyrexian Censor that has not died yet, so it'll still only be 5 to recast. Meanwhile, Islane just whittling everyone away, doesn't care about the Phyrexian Censor at all. maybe a little bit, but you know, nowhere near as much as the other two decks. We've got a decent board state built up here still. We get to deal at least 1 damage guaranteed to everyone, which is not much. As we can see, the clock is very slow. This game is taking a long time. But it's a clock, at least. Night Market Lookout, another way to guarantee some life drain. Gets to swing in at least once, potentially, drain everybody for 1, and then we can sacrifice it to our commander to drain everyone for 1 again and get a body out of it. It enters the battlefield tapped, so I don't think it gets the trigger of becoming tapped for that. I'm not certain on that ruling, but I would assume it does not. Because it doesn't say whenever a creature enters the battlefield, tap it. It just says they enter tapped, so. We are swinging. And Gator is casting Vines of the Vastwood Kicked to pump a creature +4/+4. Oh man. Yeah, so Phyrexian Censor being one of the few true stacks decks in the format makes people do some strange things, use some cards in the way that we do not necessarily intend to play them. But yeah, we're pumping. I don't know what we're pumping, but we're pumping something. Looks like end step, we are going to try to remove the Valakut Invoker. Force Gator to use it now so that we can recast the Censor. Yeah. I don't know if we have any rules people in chat, but now I have a question. If you're Are you allowed to announce the activation of Valakut Invoker's ability and then pay costs by sacrificing it to Ashnod's altar and still get the ability? Intricacies of Magic. I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that or not. I'm not even sure if I lean towards the answer being yes or no. We are going to activate the automaton to bounce it to hand. That's a good way to get around this. Make sure we still have the Invoker to deal with the Phyrexian Censor. Definitely a good play from Gator there. And we are also going to tutor a Rebel in the end step. Grab a Defiant Falcon, which is another Rebel that tutors for Rebels. It also has flying, Um, not super relevant now that the Shoreline Ranger is gone, but it could be an attacker. I think it's a 1/1, so it's not a super strong attacker, but Defiant Falcon. Yeah, 1/1 flyer. I can tutor more rebels. And we're also casting an ambush paratrooper during end step. It is flash, so it helps us break parity in mono white, and it gives us a way to help try to end the game a bit faster. I think Findhorn really needs to start working on his lane at this point, but we know that Gator has the Valakut Invoker in hand to start setting up for another win attempt. And we know that Jonathan has 61 cards left in deck, so Jonathan has seen 40% of his deck. Surely there's a combo in hand at this point. So everyone is kind of a threat for Findhorn, and Findhorn is just trying to hold everyone back right now. But losing access to resources as we go. Eventually, I think this wall is going to break. Especially with the indirect pressure from his lane, whether his lane wants to or not. And Jonathan now has a 5/6, which can just get blocked by the rebels that tutor rebels. But you can only do that for so long. And if your win condition isn't fast enough, the 5/6 from Tatiova could legitimately become an issue for you. Looks like we're swinging out. Don't know where it's going, but probably gonna pump the team as well. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where do you think he's swinging? Phyrexian Joe. That is the worst thing ever. Please. Please ignore that. Yep, we're pumping the squad wherever it's going. It looks like it all went at Jonathan. Putting Jonathan on 2 life, giving Gator the opportunity to just kill Jonathan if he pleases. Funnily enough, I don't know if Gator wants to. Since Jonathan also wants to remove the Phyrexian sensor probably this turn to go for a win attempt. Because Jonathan really doesn't get another untap. But it looks like maybe we are just going to kill Jonathan here. Yep. Had a counter spell. Okay. Don't know why we're showing it. Probably just to show that we had interaction. But Land drop. Oh, no, that's just him readjusting his lands. How much mana do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Rocco has died twice, so we can Rocco for 3 without using Ashnod's Altar. The standard bearer is gone at least. We could potentially go for an Ashnod's Altar play to get the Ivy lane now. Sack the Hartebeest. Yep, looks like that's what we're doing, probably. Rocco for 4. No more blue player. Yep, grabbing the Ivy Lane Denizen. So I feel much more comfortable with this build of the deck, knowing that Gator and I are thinking of going for the same plays. Another thing that's interesting about this board state is that since we have the mana filter with the elf here, the Sky Shroud elf, we can activate our Aegis automaton using just the Ashnod's Altar, since we can filter to white. So we do always have protection available if absolutely necessary. But let's see. Next turn, what can we go for? Assuming we tutored the Presence of Gone to hand, we can pay 3 to cast the Invoker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sacrifice this to shoot the Phyrexian. And then sacrifice Rocco and the Automaton. Filter for... Or I guess... 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then sacrifice Rocco and tap this for green. Cast Presence of Gone. Go for the win. So if we did tutor Presence of Gone earlier, we have a win attempt. Because even though there's a Suture Priest in play, we can actually make 4 tokens, lose 4 life, sacrifice them to Ashnod's Altar, and shoot the Suture Priest, and then we can continue. All of those creatures will be tapped because of the censor, except for the fact that we can make 2 more, and then sacrifice them to Ashnod's Altar, and we can actually make infinite colorless and wipe the board and kill everyone with 1 spell. Next turn. So Gator has piloted this very well and has the potential to go for a win attempt next turn. But we have to not die here, which it looks like Gator is trying to do. Is Lane correctly assessing the threat? But yeah, Gator does have a line to win this game, despite a rule of law being in play since turn 4, the entire game. And it looks like maybe blocking with the Boreal Druid and then preventing the damage that would be dealt to the Boreal Druid So it still effectively gains a life, but it also kills a creature. Um, so that's a good play. A very interesting game here. Let's see. Does Findhorn have the damage to kill Gator? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And Gator can also prevent up to 3 damage by untapping the the medic. Um, so yeah, Gator probably lives this turn and gets to at least go for the win attempt. Um, there is a line for Findhorn to actually prevent the win, though. I wonder if he sees it. Um, Essentially, instead of going for a pump to try to kill Gator here, we can hold our mana for the pump, and we can pump our Phyrexian Sensor in response to it getting targeted with deal 3 damage to pump it up to a 4/4, and then it won't die. I wonder if he sees the line. Of course, you could also just have a piece of protection in hand, which would get the job done as well, which is plenty likely. Looks like we're casting a Chalice on 1. This is a tight game. Findhorn also is going to struggle in the 1v1 against his lane at this point, I think. I think Findhorn is in a really tough spot now. Let's see if Findhorn burns the mana this turn or not. I think burning the mana this turn might lose you the game. Although Islane does have a lot of mana up to potentially interact with Gator, so maybe not, but we'll see. Is anyone taking this damage? Looks like he swung at his lane, and he does hold up the 5 mana. So we are safe from Gator just shooting our Phyrexian Sensor. Now the question is, does he go for the Valakut Invoker and just put it into play? Or are we going for the Presence of God? What's the play here? 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Pay 5 to bounce Rocco and cast Rocco for 1, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. So I guess we get a cast Rocco for 2. Yeah, we have enough mana that we are now just, instead of going for an actual win attempt, we are going to build up our board. And knowing Gator, he might just go for his own ambush paratrooper here. No, we're going for the Suture Priest, so that whenever we go for our combo, we will gain back the life that we're losing off of his lane. And it also just gives us that bit of life gain to try to stay on the beatdown plan if we absolutely have to. Not a bad play. Another potential line, I guess, would be for us to Are we discarding hand size? Oh, we're we're revealing our hand. So yeah, we have Presence of God, Midnight Guard. We have the Careful Cultivation if we find the Pilipala, and we also have our enchantment board wipe, but none of these decks are playing enchantments. So it is just kind of a dead card for us, unfortunately. But honestly, I think the effect on that card is worth it being a dead card. Let me pull it up for you guys. Reverent Silence. This card says, if you control a forest, you may have each other player gain 6 life instead of paying its mana cost to destroy all enchantments. So, you know, even if there's 1, 2 enchantments in play, this card's very strong. 0 mana, destroy target enchantment is fine. And popping all of them is just not too shabby. This also gives us an out to Oubliette from Islane. If we have that. Which surely he's on Oubliette. And I think it's actually the only out we play to Oubliette outside of just bouncing our creature or killing it in response. So yeah, I think it's worth playing. I think it's our only disenchant. We're not playing much interaction in this deck. We're a lot more focused on just tutoring combos. Oh, we have Caustic Caterpillar, so we can actually we can tutor it preemptively, or you know, just draw into it. So we have a couple outs to Oubliette. And funnily enough, this Ivy Lane Denizen is also helping us survive by just putting our creatures into play a bit bigger than they were. And also, whenever we put creatures into play, we can just put additional +1/+1 counters onto our medic, which means we can prevent more damage. So a lot of very amusing things going on in this game. Rocco showing off the toolbox potential, even though it is a very hardcore combo deck, it can still toolbox pretty well, just because of having access to that tutor in the command zone. I assume there is some table talk going on right now, since we are no longer taking game actions. I assume his lane is trying to just figure out how to stop Gator. And Fendhorn is probably trying to figure out how to deal with Islane without losing to Gator in the process. Looks like we're casting an O-Ring. Lapse of Certainty? No, we're gonna Flicker. Okay, so he must have declared targets already and targeted the Phyrexian sensor. Yeah, I mean, no blue at the table, so it's not gonna get countered. We'll Flicker and draw a card. The O-Ring will stay in play, though. Probably not relevant, but funnily enough, if that hit Gator, we could leave it in play because we could wipe it with our enchantment removal. So we were not afraid of O-Ring at all because we have 0 mana destroy O-Ring. And having that revealed to the table could also potentially incentivize his lane to hit Findhorn with it. So 1 point for Gator, revealing that could be beneficial in this circumstance. However, he did also reveal multiple combo pieces and show that he is still a threat. So, gotta keep that one in mind too. Because yeah, as soon as we get rid of this Phyrexian sensor, um, we get infinite mana, infinite life, infinite Rocco. I don't know why we're discarding our enchantment removal. Oh, maybe we had too many cards in hand. I didn't step in, didn't realize it. But it looks like we're swinging on both players. Why did you die so early? I mean, you didn't die early. Like, I don't think you died till like turn 10. This game is just taking forever. Um, you were definitely gonna go for a win soon, though, right, Jonathan? Like that turn, surely you were gonna go for a flicker combo. No way you drew 40% of your deck and didn't have a combo attempt. You had no way to win anytime soon. Dang, super unlucky. You had that alternate win condition with the island cyclers, though. The the sacred hard cast shoreline ranger. Yeah, this is looking kind of dangerous for Islane now, I think. With Findhorn getting this low on life, there's there's potential for Gator to swing in for some damage on Findhorn here potentially if he's not careful. So bro, you gotta fear the 5/6. Never mind all the chump blockers in play. You gotta fear the 5/6. um Yeah, I think it's really funny that the pump from the paratrooper is stopping Gator from clearing the Phyrexian sensor. Um, I guess if he runs out the invoker, then he can go end step of Findhorn. He doesn't want him dead. Really? I'm pretty sure if he dies, he just wins. Like, I guess maybe not, because his lane does still have 2 mana up. And I guess I don't know how many cards are in his lane's hand, but... Because, yeah, I don't think Findhorn is hurting his lane. Although I guess maybe Gator just wants Findhorn to swing at his lane and try to kill him, but like Gator doesn't care too much about life totals. Hold on. If Gator gets in for 2 damage on Findhorn, then he can just shoot him in the face with the Invoker. and then just like sack his board to go for the win. Although maybe he doesn't want to do that because he's scared of removal from his lane. He wins whether Suture Priest is gone or not because he has his own Suture Priest in play. Suture Priest doesn't stop him right now. Oh, there's the pump. That means we can get rid of the sensor. Findhorn is also on 4 life, so if we just swing in with the Suture Priest, we can just shoot Findhorn instead. There's the Kami. Yeah, we saw the hand with the he revealed win in hand. um Yeah, Gator just looking for a spot where he can swing in for the kill here. It's not wanting to load Kami. Which one is this Kami? I don't remember. It's in the sideboard. Kami of Falso. Prevent all combat damage. Yeah, so if Gator swings in for 1, he can force it if he wants to. Just swing in with... Or I guess you have to swing in with, like, the automaton or something. Does this thing have power? I don't know these cards very well. 0-3. Who cares about the stat line, you know? Return Rocco to hand and recast again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to return. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rocco for 4. What are we grabbing now? Spore Frog. Why'd we pay so much for Rocco? Or did we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1. Never mind, I'm dumb. Yeah, it's Rocco for 1. So yeah, we're just grabbing our own fog. um Are we still really trying to protect Findhorn here? I really don't see a reason to. Especially if his lane is tapped out. Like, why did we not just go for win here? I'm confused. Did we have access to win? 3 mana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Activated Invoker. We still have a green pip left over. Green 2, 3. So we force him to sack the Kami or lose. If we swing in with the Ivy lane. And his lane was tapped out. Because, yeah, I think he could have won the game there. Yeah, must have missed it. Or, you know, maybe his lane has a snuff out and Gator knows about it or something. Or he's scared of a snuff out. But even if you're scared of a snuff out, like, you have Ashnod's Altar and a filter, so unless you just don't have protection in hand, which is possible. We already used our vines, so the only protection left is Benevolent Bodyguard and Benevolent Blessing. And we can snuff out in response to the Benevolent Bodyguard, so I don't know. But we're just gonna keep draining the table. The thing I don't like about this line from Gator is that now we're definitely at risk of Findhorn just killing us. Although if he does that, he dies to Isleen immediately, so I guess that's not really an option for him. Um, what do you mean he would lose his entire board due to Ashnods? You have to sack 4 creatures to Ashnods to activate the Invoker. Or are you saying he'd be scared of activating? I don't know. I guess the Phyrexian Sensor is still in play, funnily enough. So I guess Protection Spell wouldn't matter. Yeah, Fendhorn is in a really tough spot now. Yeah, I guess it's reasonable. I guess you're also not dying to Fendhorn swinging because you have the Spore Frog. Um, so I guess Gator is just taking the approach that he'll win the long game because Islane has to passively kill Findhorn pretty much. I have no clue how long this game has been. It's been a long game. Let me check when they opened the lobby on spell table. Um yeah, like an hour and a half. Lobby's been open for 2 hours, but it took Gator like half an hour to join, so probably an hour and a half. Jonathan would know considering he was in the game. So, technically still in time limit for a tournament game. And it looks like it is going to be ending here soon. So this would probably fly under tournament rules. Go to turns afterwards. So somehow this game is within the realm of possibility. Is this during end step? Or are we in Findhorn's turn? I thought Findhorn untapped. We're just getting the Children of Corliss now? Oh my goodness. That is funny. Yeah, I guess his lane could have killed Findhorn in response to the tutor on the stack, but then Gator just wins probably because he would have to tap out to do that. Although they can just kill Findhorn now if they want. They both have a Suture Priest. So whenever that enters the battlefield, they can choose to kill Findhorn here. Which I think Gator is definitely wanting to do. I don't know. Oh, we're just sacrificing it immediately? And it looks like Islane wants to kill Findhorn on the stack, maybe here? Or are we just putting him to 1? He'll just regain that life if you don't kill him now. If the activation is still on the stack. Also, I think Gator needs to lose his life from that drain. Alright, we are killing Findhorn on the stack. So, yeah, we'll see if Gator decides to go for a win here. I suppose considering the board state, Gator could just try to slow roll, just like bounce Rocco, recast him, grab a Priest of Titania, bounce Rocco, cast him next turn, grab a Kyrian Ranger, make a bunch of mana, and then just go for an Invoker board wipe. But considering the fact that this guy prevents damage and Denethor makes you lose life, he doesn't deal damage. It's probably not a great idea. I think you kind of have to just go for it. Or we can just remove the Suture Priest and then try to gain life by just making creatures. Oh, did Islane take back killing Findhorn on the stack? What is going on? We're just taking the damage? So I guess maybe Islane had a Suture Priest trigger on the stack for the children. Children got sacked. Islane made him lose a life. He gained the life back, and then the Suture Priest made him lose one more life, putting him on 1. I don't think Gator lost the life from the commander activation. So I think Gator should be at 7. Why are we sacking the Kami? I don't know. Looks like we're on Gator's turn, though. We are casting the Invoker. Yeah, yeah. I really think you benefited from the the Phyrexian sensor a lot, Islane. Yeah, it looks like we are sacking creatures to the Ashnod's altar to activate Invoker. I assume that's going at Findhorn's face. Um, in response, we're gonna save passage. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and creatures you control this turn. So it doesn't matter if we went face or not. So Gator has reduced his board presence. Um, I don't know if it's worth trying to do it again this turn on the stack. Um, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Keep up the one green, but yeah, you can't. I don't think you can afford to do it this turn. Yeah, I think if Gator had went for it last turn, maybe he could have gotten there this turn, but or even gotten there last turn, who knows? But yeah, looks like we're just gonna settle for accepting our fate that we cannot deal with it. However, Findhorn also can't kill us because we can just shoot him in the face if he tries. Findhorn can't put a creature into play because of the Suture Priests. So he's forced to either sit there and do nothing and die to Islane passively, although he'll probably just die to Islane regardless. He might not even get to untap. I do feel validated in the fact that Gator saw the same out that I did so early on with just the Valakut Invoker. Like, that's just kind of how you have to try to win the game. Can't really combo through the sensor, um, assuming other people have interaction. Because then you're just forced to bounce with the automaton and then you lose your enchantments, which you can get back, but it's work. Um, this is our main way to get back our Presence of Gond with Rocco. through tutors. We also have a couple other cards to get it back to hand, but yeah, we are really in the tank, it looks like, still. Looks like in step we are just going to kill Jonathan. Or Jonathan's already dead. Kill Findhorn with the Denethor. Um, Funnily enough, there are a few counters on our medic, so we can untap it, block with it, and then tap it to prevent more damage. So notably, we do have a good blocker that can block the 3/5 Denethor. Looks like we never caught that it should be a 4/6. Um, and then how much mana does Gator have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 3 damage. We have 6 damage just sitting around if we want to go all in. That's not worth it right now. So we're probably just going for a combo. There's a free sack outlet, but we don't really need it at this point in the game. Go for the throat on the Suture Priest. I mean, if this went to times, it would go to turn at this point, right? And I think at worst, this would be turn 3, so there would still be 2 more turns. Or at least a turn for Gator. So I think even in tournament, Gator would get a turn here. Also, people would have played faster, hopefully, in tournament, because there was some very slow turns. They already did turns, really? Okay. Yeah, Sensor slowed the game down. There were also some turns that just took longer than they probably needed to. Um, Also, Gator is playing a deck that repeatedly tutors for the first time, which will slow the game down as well. But yeah. I think Gator. I don't know if Gator wins this game, in all honesty. Oh, I don't mean play faster like gameplay, game style wise. I mean like literally taking multiple minutes during your turn. I mean physical time, not like in-game action time. Um yeah, I don't know if Gator loses this game necessarily because he can still Invoker to shoot the Suture Priest. and then go for a win from there. So unless his lane has removal in hand, I think Gator would win on this turn. We have the prismatic strands to prevent damage. So we don't die this turn, quote unquote. But during Islane's upkeep, we make infinite mana again and then shoot him in the face. So that doesn't stop Gator from winning. Because, yeah, we have enough mana to pop the Suture Priest and then cast our Presence of God on our medic. So I think Gator does actually win this game. Which is kind of crazy. Playing Rocco into a sensor. Alrighty. Well, they're calling it a draw due to time, but I am like 90% certain that Gator does end up winning that game on his turn. So I'm going to call it a win for Rocco. It's not going to be on the spreadsheet for data and such, I don't think, but thank you all for watching. I know this game was very long. We'll put up a VOD of it on the Common Theory channel, and you can definitely tell people to watch it at an increased rate of speed. Game decisions were really fast in the beginning, and they really slowed down in that late game. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in today. Deck list will be in the description if you want to check it out. And I hope you all have a great night.